$85 for a fill-up in New Hope Thursday. The backdrop Governor Tim Walz used to pitch his plan for bigger rebate checks.
I'm guessing a lot of legislators are feeling that pressure from constituents. What can you do to give us a little relief?
The DFL governor's checks are $500 per adult, $1,000 per couple. Higher earners would be
Hello and welcome to the fourth stimulus check update that I need you guys to know. There's a ton of news about the fourth stimulus payment, a lot of interesting information about the stimulus payments that you should know. Congress is ready to take action this year. The lawmakers are pushing to pass new bills that would help millions of retirees and seniors. The new bill could give many Americans thousands of extra this year, and there are also a lot of new details that have been released. So, as millions of people mark January 1st with resolutions, the federal government's actually main Social Security welfare safety net will be undergoing changes this year as well. The news is mostly good for those already receiving money from the program. Additional boosts will allow recipients to keep pace with inflation, fuel, and costs for food, gas, and everyday spending. And the most impactful change is already in 2023. It's the 8.7% COLA increase. For instance, if you receive $2,000 a month from Social Security, well, the monthly pay will rise to around $2,100 a month. This year's COLA marks the highest percentage jump since '81, 11.2% rise, and is tied to the blistering inflationary pressures that have driven up daily costs for the average American. This year, the government plans to reward the patient Americans who hold off on claiming their benefits until they reach their full retirement age of 67. On average, beneficiaries who didn't want to wait until the end of the year will see their checks by about $140 increase very fast. Not only that, but listen to this, folks, because now with the mixed news, Social Security gets most of its money from payroll taxes, but the program will dig deeper into the pockets and paychecks of the high earners. Before 2023, the maximum earnings subject to Social Security tax was $147,000. Beginning this year, employees who make more than $160,000 will have to pay taxes on an additional $13,000 of income. So when it comes to Social Security, there's going to be a lot of changes. The system continues to reward patients and Social Security benefits at age 62. Delaying them will just increase your money more per month. And according to Yahoo News, waiting to claim until age 67 can earn you a delayed retirement credit that's a very hefty amount of up to 8% of your benefits to the maximum benefit amount. So over in Minnesota, a congresswoman is pushing to remove the Fed on Social Security benefits before you earned it and you keep it act. Democratic representative who introduced the bill on August 16th said she wants to eliminate the Fed taxes on Social Security for retired Americans and help keep people safe by doing that. But that's not really going to do anything because let's be honest, Representative Craig's proposed bill comes at a time when there are a lot of high earners and a lot of fears surrounding the Social Security news. So according to Yahoo News, the 2021 Social Security Board of Trustees annual report revealed that the program's reserves will be depleted by 2034 if nothing is done to prevent it. All Social Security recipients will be eligible for an increase. It includes those who are receiving SSDI, and SSI, and other things like SSA. Folks, this is unbelievable. The top economists have confirmed that more relief is on the way, but Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is warning that people shouldn't even expect more stimulus to be sent out unless this happens by Joe Biden. And here's what it is. So we have some big news. Janet Yellen notified Congress that the U.S. will reach its debt limit on Thursday. After that, the Treasury Department said that next month they will begin to take extraordinary measures to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on its obligations. Janet Yellen wrote in a letter to Kevin McCarthy that the Treasury is just currently not available to estimate how long these emergency actions will allow the U.S. to pay for the government obligations. Yellen warned Kevin McCarthy that it's critical that Congress act in a timely manner to increase or suspend the debt limit. She added in the letter, failure to meet the government's obligations would cause the incredible and irreparable harm to the U.S. economy, the livelihoods of all Americans, and global financial stability. Janet Yellen and the press secretary also told reporters that Congress is going to need to raise debt limit without condition. Yellen's letter effectively starts a counting clock down on how long the government will actually be open for stimulus payments. So Chuck Schumer and House Democratic leaders have actually said that Congress must act on this bill to prevent a disastrous default and meet the obligations and protect the full faith and credit of the U.S. However, they noted that the previously authorized Treasury has to use measures which the department has employed in the past. A senior White House official even told CNBC that the Biden administration plans to pursue negotiations in earnest with Congress after the mid-April tax deadline. At that point, the official said the Fed will have a better idea on how much revenue is coming in, how far it will go into paying countries' bills, and how urgently it needs to reach a deal. The trajectory of the American economy between now and then will also remain indeterminate, brazen how Republicans demand and cut spending in response to that.
Sustainable energy future. But I'm here today because homegrown biofuels have a role to play right now, as we work to get prices under control and reduce the costs for families. Look, I grew up in a family, not a joke, where if the price of a gallon of gasoline went up, it was a conversation at our kitchen table. It mattered. It mattered with my mom and dad. It made a difference. We felt it. Putin's invasion of Ukraine has driven up gas prices and food prices all over the world. The two largest grain producers in the world, Ukraine and Russia, are not doing what they usually do, so everything's going up. We saw today's inflation data. 70% of the increase in prices in March came from Putin's price hike in gasoline. We need to address this challenge with an urgency that demands. That's why I've called on Congress to move immediately to lower the cost of families' utility bills, prescription drug bills, and more while lowering the deficit to reduce inflationary pressures. And that's what we've done. We lowered the deficit by $300 billion so far. And it's expected. So, folks, we can do these things without raising the penalty.
So Nancy Pelosi, everybody, is finally taking action for the people, and there are now several plans to allocate billions of dollars towards a fourth round of stimulus payments for everybody that needs it. Here's the most important stimulus check and social security news that I want you guys to know. Make sure you continue watching this video. You don't want to miss out on this. Pelosi has just told the Biden administration to seek tens of billions of dollars more in emergency crisis relief. She has suggested that it would take more than $40 billion to meet the needs of the people in the larger global community. Now, Joe Biden has asked Congress for $22.5 billion in new funding to fight the ongoing crisis. But folks, that figure was whittled down to just $15.6 billion in the face of Republican opposition, all on Capitol Hill. And earlier today, Pelosi said that even a larger $22.5 billion figure was too small, arguing that it provided relief to only the small part of people. Pelosi told reporters that, "I think they should be double what they asked for, because even when they were asking for $20-some billion, it was only going to get us to June." So do you guys agree with Nancy Pelosi and her belief for more stimulus checks? And most importantly, do you think that Nancy Pelosi will send out more stimulus checks along with President Biden this year? Tell me what you think, folks, in the comments down below. Now, the comments came shortly after Pelosi and the Democratic leaders met together in the Capitol with Biden administration top officials. Now, in seeking $22.5 billion for the crisis relief earlier this month, the Biden administration had said that it would cover the immediate needs of the crisis response over the next few months. This request also proposed that a large bulk of the funding, $4.25 billion exactly, would provide help abroad the State Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development. But Republicans, everybody, have balked at the figure, saying it was both too high and needs to be paid for by spending cuts elsewhere in the budget. And bipartisan negotiators have come to an agreement on the $15.6 billion figure. During an interview today, the Transportation Secretary